Hello ladies and mental Jen, and welcome to another Is It Worth the Gold video. Today we are looking at the AMX M4 MLE 49 Liberté, I don't know, I'm not French. This review is brought to you by Power Creep. Yeah, cause Wargaming knows how to fucking balance their game. Have to use Tank Inspector for this one, as Tanks GG is kind of stopped updating their shit, it seems. So, yeah, gotta use Tank Inspector. Hope you don't mind too much. I don't really see any difference. That being said, let's look at the armor. So 190 frontal plate gives you around, well, from 220 to 240 effective armor when you're not angling whatsoever. Pretty damn impressive for a tier 8, if you ask me. Lower plate, not even existent. Don't even bother trying to shoot at the lower plate on this thing. This is going to be much harder to pen. When we come to the turret, it's actually even better than the hull. You have 250 armor on anything that's flat and facing forwards, and everything that's angled is around 180, giving you effective armor on this tank from, you know, that 250 to like 350 and stuff like that. So this turret can definitely take a beating, and there's no holes in it either, so this tank has some sick turret. There is a weakness, so it's not a T110E5. You do have a cupola, and it is really weak, so everything shooting at this will be penning it. So your utmost, well, the most important thing to do when you play this tank is just try to make people miss the cupola. That's really the only defensive move that is required in this tank, as that is your really only weakness. Side armor isn't great, but it isn't that bad either. I mean, 55 for a heavy is bad, sure. But at the same time, I mean, your front is so good that you never really want to angle it anyways. Plus, these shoulder plates gonna be the weakest links. They're still pretty damn strong if you angle a bit. So angling a bit is definitely can be quite relevant in this as well. But don't overdo it, and you should be fine. Other than that, the side of the turret, this zone is something you don't want to shoot at, especially when you're lower tier. You want to aim for the back or the middle of the turret, depending on your penetration. Whenever this tank is peeking you, it always will have to expose its track, unless, you know, well, it always gonna have to expose its track in order to shoot you. So you're always gonna have this shot if it's if this thing is not side scraping. So you should try to always go for that. And also, this is the zone where the ammo rack is as well, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, the gun depression 10 pretty much all around, apart from the back. To the back, it's like 4 and 3 right at the back, so pretty decent for a heavy tank. Just as always, don't really, you know, shoot things that are behind you. That being said, I'm pretty sure we're ready to get into the replay. Here we go, playing on Paris. Seems to be fitting to upload a video from Paris. Pretty good matchmaking, really good matchmaking actually. This tank does not get top tier or preferential matchmaking, so this is 1/3 of your games are gonna look similar to this one. But this is the kind of matchmaking where this tank shines. Don't get me wrong, it's not that bad when it's bottom tier either. Unlike all the other premiums, this actually has pretty damn good pen, one of the best at tier 8 on its standard ammo, and the APCR is also pretty good at that. But as always, before we get into too much action, let's talk about stats. So since Tanks GG is no longer updating, we are using slightly different stats this time. Tank Inspector does not show proper base values, and believe it or not, it's actually kind of hard to fucking find base values in World of Tanks as well. So we're going to be using a Tank Inspector with a 100% crew, so it's not going to be a big difference from base, but it is going to be slightly better. So you have 1500 hit points, 370 meter view range, power to weight of 14.29, top speed limit forwards 40, backwards 15, 29 degree per second turret traverse, 25 degree track traverse. When we come to the gun, we have open 35 accuracy, aiming time of 2.8, which does not feel anywhere near 2.8 because, you know, let's make stats as irrelevant as possible, so we couldn't make an informed decision on buying a tank by just looking at them because, you know, fuck you. Soft stats on this tank are really good. Most of them at least are. Penetration 232, damage 300 per shot. Your DPM is 1822. And here's something you should definitely not be doing in this tank. Going around a corner in this fashion is really, really bad. I mean, side-scraping is definitely better than doing that, especially against two T150s. The Prius might pen me anyways, but giving him my track is pretty damn stupid. And now this is probably the saddest medium rush I've seen in my life. Look at this guy. I'm a medium tank. I'm gonna flank them all. They're gonna see my mobility is gonna win me this game. Look at this guy. This is so fucking sad. It just feels bad looking at this guy with this stupid fucking Prius. What a fucking terrible premium that is. Alright, so M4 49. It is a beast. There's no doubt about it. This tank is definitely nowhere near the Liberté, nowhere near tanks that like it really is competing with, like the Liberté, like the Tiger II, like the T32. T32 arguably can be better in situations, but this tank just shits on tanks like the Tiger II, VK, all those tanks that are kind of mobile, but well, Tiger II isn't really very mobile, and so isn't this really, but this tank just shits on every other heavily armored target tier 8. Like, there's nothing even close to this. Tiger II is a joke. Liberté is a joke. This gun is better. Well, it's not necessarily better because, you know, you get a bad reload and not the greatest DPM. But this tank, just as a package, is so much better than all of those tanks. I mean, even if I said the DPM on this isn't great, it's still 200 better than on the Liberté, which is just funny. And here's what I was saying, like, the ammo rack that I fucked up, well, the play where I fucked up and gave my ammo rack away will cost me a lot of damage here. I mean, damage gun at this range is gonna be sad, but hey, I have unpenetrable front, so I'll just drive closer and kill you anyways. Yay, balanced. The good thing about this tank and why I don't really mind it that much is that it does have that cupola. It does have the... It's not idiot proof like, you know, IS-3s are gonna become with the nerf of overmatch mechanics. This tank is still, you know, it has its weakness, and with the bad DPM, you can outplay this in pretty much any other tier 8 medium that has a better mobility, like STA2 and all the stuff like that. They're just gonna out-reload this, and if you can hit the cupola, you're gonna be just fine. So while it is really good, and it is definitely good against bad players like these guys were, where they didn't even bother shooting Megapola, then the tank isn't broken like the E5 is, where you just literally have to go load gold or go home. It does have the weak spots, so your enemies can abuse that reasonably well in this armor. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. Ferdinand cries every time. Now he's gonna make sure that he pens, but I can still take the hit, so it's not really a big deal. Plus, he doesn't even shoot me. And of course, the nice part about this tank is that tanks like Ferdinand's are just made out of cheese for you with that 230 plus pen. The only tank that really, well, tier 8, 9, the only tank that really will give you trouble spending it frontally is gonna be the Eastern E5. Hull down ST1s are always a pain in the ass, but that goes for any tank in the game and not only the tier 8s. But obviously there's some tier 10s you don't really want to fuck with too much. But then again, that is all about how you decide to play the game. And this tank does have enough mobility to play the medium tank flank if you decide so. When we look at the end plate, we see a nice ace tanker, 2749 experience, steel wall, cold-headed I think that medal is called, and high caliber as well. 4264 damage done, 1570 assisted, plus 2830 bounced by armor. Picked up 4 kills and got 1666 base experience. And in the end, this game netted me just short of 116,000 credits. Well, to sum it up, power creep, boys. Throw your Liberté in the garbage and buy the new, better Liberté. Get fucked, boys. Get fucked. So I played 5 games on my account on this tank. I played some more on the test account as well. But you can see the stats on the screen. I mean, obviously this is not something you can account for or should expect from this tank, but the potential is definitely here, and this tank is just a beast. There's nothing really to say about it apart from power creep. Yeah! So the only real downsides to this tank is, of course, the cupola. Can be penned by anything and anyone. It is kind of sluggish, but since you carry so much frontal armor, that is actually not really a weakness. And third of all, it does have the French 100mm gun, which is probably the most cost-inefficient gun in the game. You'd pay 1000 credits for 300 damage shot, so there is pretty bad value there, but still the tank makes pretty decent credits, so I can't really complain about that too much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review on the better Liberté, and I will see you on the next one.